I just got a job at CD Projekt Red. Hell yeah, I'm a video game designer. Just got out of college for video game design. And he shows up and they're like, okay, here's your task for the day. So we need variability in dicks. You need to make an uncircumcised version. You need to make a circumcised version. You need different sizes. We are live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Easy Company Podcast, episode number 8. My name is GingerBeerdGaming. I am joined by the wonderful 12 Tango Dom.
Hi.
The illustrious AngryPrivateRyan, and our special guest today, the DekeOfHazzard. DekeOfHazzard is a mod. I think I get to claim Deke first, although I may want to. Based on what he's said in the pre-show, I may need to disown him after this, but he was my mod first, and I think he's. Aren't you a mod like everybody's channel now?
Yes, but my question to you is, how many streams has it been since Red Dead?
It's been 2 streams since Red Dead, and also fuck you, and I disown you now. And so, we're gonna just move on. But
Deke already got unmodded. Damn,
it's already unmodded. Yeah, it just this was where it was just cut off. So anyway, I think when we were talking about like guests that we were going to bring onto the podcast, your name came up right away for all of us. So thank you for being such a good part of our community, and welcome to the podcast. And now we're going to get started with the shit show, I guess. So
wait, so what did Deke say that got him unmodded?
That's how many streams it had been since Red Dead.
Yeah, he pointed out that Kyle hasn't been playing Red Dead.
See, and this is such fake news. All right, so and I even said this.
Fake news media.
I even said this in my stream. I said I stream Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Those are my days, right? Anything else is a bonus stream.
2 of those were Red Dead. I mean,
they've been Red Dead. I played Tarkov one time. God, this is already off the rails.
The fact that you're responding to my trolling is the best.
Red Dead made you, bro. Red Dead made you.
I don't know how that as a troll I became a mod in every channel, because I certainly troll all 3 of you.
You do.
It's literally
a pain in the ass. You really are.
But you're a very dedicated pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And you're a very Twitch savvy pain in the ass. So
this is true.
So Deke has significantly increased the cool factor of my stream with all the fun emotes and shit like that. And I'm too stupid to figure that kind of stuff out. So Deke was like, "Here, just make me a mod." And I'm like, "Yeah, you right. And then in like 10 minutes, he's like, "All right, you got all these fucking things." And I'm like,
"It's crazy."
Okay.
Yeah. Deke was like, "Hey, give me access to all of your BTTV emotes."
Yeah,
and I just,
like,
without even a second thought, I was like, okay,
sure, why not?
Now there's basically an Easy Company emote set. So there you go.
Booyah, baby.
Hell yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, it's easy.
Well, so I think we don't really have a formula for this podcast at all, other than just us bullshitting about stuff. But like, I'd be curious, Deke. Like, I think and you and I talked a little bit about this earlier in the week, but like, we pretty much, for better or for worse, stay in our lanes, like me and Ryan and Tango. And you kind of like, you're in that lane too, but you're also like, you fill out some of the gamer personality that we don't. So tell me about like your gaming history. I think I know a little bit of it, but for the viewers and everybody else, like what games did you play like growing up, and what do you enjoy now?
Yeah. So, 90s kid, started off on the N64. I got it when I was like 6 or 7. It came out in 96. So got it like the March after it came out. My uncle had a Nintendo, and then my cousin had a Super Nintendo. So I have played Mario from the beginning. I grew up on that. And so platformers are kind of my thing. Fell in love with the Zelda series, the Mario series on 64, and kind of expanded from there. I didn't really even get into Daisy, Survival, any of that until the last year or so. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that my more expertise would be the RPG style, third person action adventure almost, as well as the platformer and for both 2D and 3D for that. Mm-hmm. Hollow Knight's been a real good recent pickup. I'd love to see Ryan attempt that It's a like Metroidvania platformer that I think you would actually enjoy.
Shakes his head no. Like, no.
Are you just done with platformers now, Ryan?
Dude, that thing broke me down into a shell of a man. Okay.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Crash Bandicoot's just not good. So.
Oh my god,
Whoa,
that broke me down.
Bold claim.
I mean, if you play it on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, they were great games. They've changed the jump angle of Crash, the physics in the game. It's just not the same game that it was, and it's harder because of that. So
It made me want to die.
I warned you.
See,
I did warn you on that one. You said you were going to play it.
Yeah.
Which one? Wait, which one?
The Crash Bandicoots.
Oh, yeah.
I warned you. You tweeted
I know,
out you were going
but
to play
I said
it.
I was going to do
Are
it.
you sure?
And I stuck through it. But see, this was the weird thing. When I got to like 3, which is unfortunate too, because Crash Bandicoot 3 is the one that I enjoyed the most. But when I got to that point, I was just like I just want to get this over with. I just want to be done with this. I want to finish them and be done. And that was like the only reason.
Even
I
as a
them.
kid, like my uncle who had the Nintendo later got a PlayStation, and that's how I played Crash Bandicoot CTR, the whole shebang.
Yep.
But even as a kid, when you compare Crash to like the Banjo-Kazooies or Super Mario 64, Spyro even, it's just it's good, but it just doesn't hit that spot for 3D platformer.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel on that one.
These
Yeah, I mean, for me,
these are a lot of really classic name titles that are coming up this podcast right now.
It's hashtag nostalgia, bro.
Have we ever really talked about like Nintendo? I feel like we did a little bit. Yeah,
Not
we
really,
did.
no.
I think.
Did we?
I remember talking about some of the old Nintendo games that I used to play. It's interesting because I feel like I played, like Nintendo platformer style games like until I don't know, maybe like middle school or high school, and then completely fell off of them and didn't even really think about them again until I started. I mean, of course I was aware of like speedrunning and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But actually, Deke has introduced me to streamers that do these, and like I jokingly called Deke a masochist because he's like, well, I'll be playing Doom. He's like,
I play these guys.
Yeah, exactly right. Like who are we watching?
Would be the one he's currently trying to figure out an emote to show that he loves pain because he plays Super Mario ROM hacks, which is they rearrange. It's not a. They take the code for Super Mario World and then you rearrange the code to basically like using Game Shark to create all new levels. And within Kaizo, there's only one way to complete a level. So you have to do it exactly as intended. There's sometimes a couple variation, but like if they give you a shell, you have to use the shell later on in the levels. You have to carry it through the whole thing. And these guys are doing these levels that like, it's insane. There's 2 tile gaps that you got to jump through after jumping off a shell. It's just these people love pain, but
it's amazing.
It's really fun to watch.
Really,
I can't do it.
Yeah, no. I mean, it is almost to the level of like watching an athlete. I mean, it's and the like them just doing it over and over and over and over. And I would quit. I would quit easily. Like I can't even get through.
I give it about 3 chances,
Eternal.
and I'm like, I'm gonna go play something else.
Yeah, I've seen them spend 8 hours on a single level minimum.
That's crazy.
Like that's
I need to feel like I've accomplished something within at least 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just throw myself off.
Although Doom was the only game that I got stuck on like particular parts of levels for multiple hours at a time. And I would just powered through it because I was like, I fucking made it this far into the game. I have to finish it now. That was brutal.
And that's pretty much how a lot of the like Super Mario World streamers are that play those ROM hacks. Is once they start something, they want to finish it. I remember one of the longer ones was like over the course of 4 or 5 streams that somebody played 1 level. Like,
what the fuck, dude? No
That's
way.
amazing.
They're one of 2 people to ever beat the hack. So
right.
That's
what's funny is people watch that too because they just love to watch you fail. They just want to see someone just getting their ass beat repeatedly over and over. But like somebody that does that has to have some sort of tolerance to, like they got to not get as fucking angry as like
it's the same
Ryan
for
or
the
I
Souls
would.
modes. honestly.
Oh, I'd break controllers.
Yeah.
The Souls.
I'd rage quit on stream.
Oh, I was saying it's the same for the Soulsborne games, honestly. Like the people that play Dark Souls, you got Jesus Here's Toast is one of the bigger ones. He speedruns Bloodborne, and like you just gotta be patient for the crap because those games can beat you upside the head for no reason.
Dark Souls was fucking brutal. So the first Souls game I ever played was Demon Souls on the PS3, and I never beat it. But it was just like something that was so new and unique at the time that I couldn't put the damn game down. And I don't even know what the hell happened to it. I think some other game probably just came out and I never finished it. But then I skipped over Dark Souls 1 and 2 and went straight to 3. And I actually played that on stream, like in my early streaming days. I didn't even have a webcam at the time. And I just like, people would come into my chat and be like, oh, dude, this boss, you're stuck on this boss. It's so easy. I'm just like, well, fuck you too, dude. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, this game's hard as shit.
Come on, dude. It's easy.
Dark Souls community so well.
Oh, this is easy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Like, oh, it's the first boss. Like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to watch is Blind Dark Souls. Spoiler
Blind
alert
Dark
for anyone who
Souls.
hasn't played it, if you intend to. But the first boss is the best because you're not even supposed to fight it.
Wait, what?
And people trying to fight it. I remember that first boss. I don't know that
I remember my first experience, and I certainly didn't find what you were supposed to do for about 15 deaths.
I don't know.
What happens if you beat the first boss, though, that you're not supposed to fight? Can you beat it?
You can beat it, yes. And, I mean, you get experience, but, you know, it's...
You can also just leave.
Is the experience worth
you eventually
the time
have to
spent?
beat it, but, like, when you first face it, you have a broken sword, and that's it.
Right.
And so it's like, good luck.
Yeah, but if you beat it with a broken
I'm gonna be
sword,
back and I'm gonna
basically
kick your ass later.
Shake your fist at it like, I'm gonna get you.
Right, bastard.
The secret there is fire bombs.
Yeah.
Just take fire bombs as your starting weapon and then throw it at it.
So do you get like an amount of experience proportional to how difficult it is to actually...
I think it's the same amount of souls either way. It's just faster to do it that way. Speedrun strats. Yeah. I
have a fascination for this like side of gaming because, like I've said before, I mean, I don't have whatever it is to drive me to like complete those games. But on the other hand, I can appreciate it though, because like I'm a big fan of like hardcore, tactical punishing shooters and other like DayZ is honestly fairly punishing depending on how you play it, and like and I like that stuff. I like the challenge of it, but I don't know, something about, I think it may be just the reflexes and stuff, required to be good at that stuff. I mean, I really love Doom, and I know that's, Deke laughed at me one time when I called that a platformer, but I mean, it does have those.
It absolutely is. It's just, if you
easy sauce. Yeah.
From my perspective, watching those games and watching you miss the platforms is like, how do you not see that? It's right there.
I don't know.
It's clearly where you're supposed to jump. So, it's just the platformer side is like, what are you doing?
See, Kyle's a fun one to watch, like doing those kinds of platformers games, because he just like, hello? Where is it? And he's like, right there!
People do not
like
watch my stream for gameplay.
Oh my God.
That's for sure. Not good gameplay anyway.
When Ginger was playing, what's the freaking scary game where you're a photographer?
Oh, Amnesia. Or not. Outlast.
Outlast.
Yeah.
You could like, there was this one part where he's trying to get away from a boss and he's got to go through this vent that's like up somewhere. And
fucking,
I saw like for 15 minutes, we're like, it's the vent, and he's just like, what do I do? Where do I go?
You weren't the one being chased by a crazy man with chains wrapped around his
venting to
body.
you guys, chat. This is fucking hard. This is bullshit.
But it's funny because like me and Steen are sitting there watching him play because he had his scare bits on, and me and Steen are like consulting, like, okay, so when do we tell him about the vent?
You don't.
Yeah,
the longer it goes, the better the content is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
That's where you do your sip emote.
Uh-huh.
Just gonna sit here.
So what have we been playing, boys and girls? Crash Bandicoot, we talked about a little bit. Might like to hear more about that.
Managed to get my hands on the PS5. Been playing through the first Spider-Man, which is awesome.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
But Cyberpunk is really, as much as the bugs make the game harder to play, it is. I mean, it meets all my expectations. I'm going to be honest. The combat and gunplay feels better than I expected, and I had low expectations, to say the least. I think Tango and I have talked about this. Dom, I know that you kind of agree there. But really, I think that the best thing about this is that we're
no spoilers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Like a year. What? Sorry?
No spoilers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. No Cyberpunk spoilers, at least.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just really enjoy the gameplay. But I think the best part about this is that we're gonna play Cyberpunk, and in like a year, it's gonna go on sale, and then Ginger's gonna pick it up, and he's gonna play it, and he's gonna go, "This is the best game I've ever played." And I can't wait.
Yeah, the gunplay in the game actually does feel way better than I was anticipating. I feel like the game feels like a sort of Far Cry meets like Outer Worlds kind of feel to it. Like the combat and the stealth and all that stuff is very much like Far Cry, where you can mark and tag enemies and then try to sneak around them, and you can go and do takedowns from behind, and you can upgrade your skills so that you can do aerial takedowns and stuff. So it feels a lot like Far Cry in that regard, but it's got this open world feel, like, you know, one of the old Bethesda games like Fallout or freaking what the hell, Elder Scrolls and Outer Worlds. Like, it just feels like that kind of game.
It really feels like it's the combination of all of the good elements of most RPGs I've played, and then it has the, you know, Fallout crash element as well. The game just doesn't run.
And like, you know, everything from the skills that your character has to his starting story affects the different dialogue options for all the different characters that you talk to throughout the game. And that I really love about it. And I think like CD Projekt Red is just so amazing at writing, that even the side quests are like, oh wow, yeah, I actually am really involved in this quest because there's a cool backstory to it, and I want to find out what happens.
Part of that, I'd say, and just part of that, I'd say, is not necessarily CD Projekt Red, but Cyberpunk itself is a book series, tabletop game. There is tons of lore that's been out there for like 20 years. So like everything that's in the game is based at least loosely on previous writings.
And it's
obviously,
the same with The Witcher.
Silverhand is something new. Yeah, no, exactly.
But they translate it so well.
Agreed. I just, you know, they're taking source material, and I'm impressed as someone who plays D&D as well. I mean, I do games of all types, so that's kind of another one of my things I like doing is tabletop games. And honestly, I've waited for a video game that did it well, where like I've put 36 hours into it since it came out, and I've seen people beat it in that time, and I've probably done 3 main missions.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do. There's a lot.
I've watched Tango play it. I've watched Veggie play it. Watched some of the bigger streamers play it.
Because all of his streamers are playing it now, and he's very upset.
Yeah, I haven't watched many of them.
I do want to like legitimately know though. I mean, like I've talked to Deke about it, and he said that it, like, you know, he just said that he had low expectations going into it. Sounds like Dom, you did too. But like, do you think it lives up to the hype? Because I'm watching it now, and I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I was, you know, I'm a fucking asshole about stuff. Like that is just what I do. But I don't think I was wrong necessarily about like being annoyed by the hype. I really don't. I mean, I don't think I was wrong, because I hate that shit, because it makes people blow. Okay, so here's a perfect example. By the way, I'm going to fucking play it, and it looks fun, okay? Like, everybody can just get off me. I'm going to play it. It looks fun. It looks right up my alley. But, like, I love Co-Carnage, okay? I really do. I've watched Co-Carnage for a long time now. And he was, like, over the moon about being, like, included in the game. And all I could think was, like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but, like, that doesn't make it a good game. You know? Like, and maybe I'm just a grouch and an asshole. I am.
Yeah.
I just
yes to
all
of the above.
Twitch, and I had never. I mean, I don't watch Gun Carnage, so
yeah.
For me, when I hear about Cyberpunk, like you got the Hassan's Abi who played it the last 3 days, beat it, whatever, and like his expectation was that it was either going to be great or it was going to be meh, and he didn't know which. Now, honestly, it kind of fell more on the great side. If you don't have the specs to run it, that's a different story, and I think that's where
that's a big problem.
Right now. I don't think that you can fault. Like, the game shouldn't have released yet. That's clear. Yeah. Like, we can all agree on that.
And the game should not have released on old generation platforms either. It should not have been released.
If it did, they should have made it clear that you needed the PS4 Pro or
the Xbox One X.
I agree. Like, but running it on a PS5, initially it crashed like every hour and a half to 2 hours, which...
Oof.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's fine. It's a brand new console.
To Fallout New Vegas.
That's why I said it had the Fallout crash issues. I've heard on the PS4 it's even worse. As far as they pushed out a new update yesterday, I think, maybe 2 days ago, it fixed it a little bit. Got it up to like 3-4 hours that I've gone without it crashing.
Oh, hell
Luckily, the auto saves and the load times make it so that way, like, it's literally like I get up and stretch. It's kind of a good thing that the game is making me stop.
They did this on purpose.
Move the blood clots around a little bit.
Because this is...
Make sure they can get up to the brain, And
it's hard to speak to whether the game lives up to the hype without spoilers, because the story is... You feel it. Like...
I actually really enjoy the main character, too.
Did you ever go back to that thing that I wanted you to do at the end?
Yeah, I was really depressed after that.
Yeah, it really sucks.
No, so that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because the game is an actual fucking emotional roller coaster where like something super terrible happens and then 5 minutes later you're like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome, and then like 5 minutes after that you're just like, oh my god. Like, it's an absolute emotional roller coaster. It's so fucking well done. And I really enjoy the main character. Like, I hated the main character, like the character you play as in Fallout 4. I thought he was just such a freaking... I didn't enjoy him at all. Like, but the character in this game, he's not annoying, and it's kind of like when you played Geralt in The Witcher, like you weren't really necessarily playing as yourself. You're playing as a different character, and like I'm totally fine with that because the character is likable,
I actually feel like they did such a good job with the variability in the dialogue options that you can play as either that annoying little shit or
you could be a total prick.
Because I might enjoy being a turd. That's
no
way.
That doesn't check out.
I feel like every time Deke's in my Red Dead streams, I'm being egged on to become the worst version of Arthur Morgan that I possibly can.
Kill him.
Kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Slit his throat. Kill him. Do it.
Rob that man. It's just you and him. It's just you and him. No one's even around. Just rob him.
Go away. If they hadn't talked to you rudely, they wouldn't have had to die.
Me and Tango were always just worried about the hat. Like, where's the hat at?
Yeah, the hat. How about the hat though? I found like the best hat in the game, I think.
What, the default starting Arthur Morgan hat?
No,
yeah, I agree.
No, not the default starting Arthur Morgan hat. The Arizona hat or whatever it is.
I do
know which one you're talking about. It looked pretty cool. I still like the rough, tough look of Arthur's hat with the little rope around it, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have to disagree. You got to make Arthur look fresh in that game.
Yeah,
just on the.
But you can't customize Arthur's penis size in that game, though.
That's true. You can't give Arthur a 12-inch dong.
It's because Arthur's already got a 12-inch dong, baby.
It's just well known. Arthur's got huge balls.
Fact.
I was talking to my brother about this the other day, and we were just laughing about the fact that someone who works.
Yeah, where is this going?
No. Well, it's all relevant.
All right.
That's what I'm terrified about.
No, I sent him this picture. I was like, does this look weird to you? No, I'm kidding. No, so there's actually somebody at CD Projekt Red whose job it was to make 3D models of dicks. Like, that was his job. He came into work one day, probably like the new guy, you know, like, oh, I just got a job at CD Projekt Red. Hell yeah, I'm a video game designer. Just got out of college for video game design. And he shows up and they're like, okay, here's your task for the day. So we need variability in dicks. You need to make an uncircumcised version. You need to make a circumcised version. You need different sizes. And like every artist always has something to reference to, right? So like this guy's probably got a Google search of dicks on his monitor. And like people were walking by his desk like, what the fuck's going on here, dude? Like
somehow I don't think that would be somehow I don't think that would be an issue for anybody to walk by and see that at CD Projekt Red, but that's just me. Also, I reject your premise that they would have entrusted that job to a new guy. I bet you anything they've got a dick man. They've got a dick.
You got a dick man? You think so? That's his whole job. Person.
Yeah, that's their whole person. Like they probably had a portfolio already ready to go. You know, I'm imagining.
I don't know.
They've been
I feel like that would be like the new guy's responsibility. Like your
Sims.
job is to get us coffee and 3D model dicks. That's what you're here for.
Or it could be a highly sought after position. That's what I'm saying. You know.
So what how do you think you fit into this organization? I love dicks, and I think that I would be the best dick man this side of the Mississippi.
Here's my high school where I drew all sorts of penises. You know,
it's like super bad where he had that like problem where he just couldn't stop drawing dicks in class. Like, that's the guy who got that job, bro.
Right.
Also, we all knew one of those guys in actual high school.
Literally every guy in my high school was that guy. It's
Exactly.
what happens when you go to an all-boys Catholic high school.
And you're looking at this fool and you're like, you're never going to be employed. And here he is making six figures. Biggest video game of all time, you know?
Yeah, joke's on us.
Dude, even like the pubes. There was like a pubes designer too. You can go like for the full bush, or you can have like a heart shape, or like the rising sun. You know, like all the different rays.
I was watching.
That one looked clean as fuck. Not gonna lie, the rising sun looks pretty damn clean.
Oh, it was the lightning bolt, man. It's all about the lightning.
So, by the way, isn't it fucking interesting? Isn't it fucking interesting? We haven't shit on Twitch in a while. This is not necessarily shitting on Twitch, but isn't it interesting that they've just thrown TOS out the fucking window with this game? I mean,
couldn't you always have nudity in game as long as it was?
I guess.
I went back and read the TOS, and it basically, as long as it's not the core premise of the game, like the game is not like some pornography fucking video game, like some porno VR experience.
I mean, that's really the point of the game, is to criticize that. So it's one of those, like when you play the game, that's part of the criticism of the dystopian world, is how over-sexualized everything is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess I just think it's interesting that it seems to me, from what I've seen, it pushes the boundaries pretty, like as far as what's allowed on Twitch, it pushes it pretty far.
It does, because you never actually see anybody having sex, from what I've seen.
That's interesting.
Like there was that sex scene, that almost sex scene that I was in yesterday. That whole situation, and you never actually end up getting. Luckily, Geralt in The Witcher used to fuck everybody, just like fucking everybody, you know. Yeah. And I just can't get lucky in Cyberpunk. I don't know what to do.
Well, just a realistic game.
Dialogue choices are up your cool. Because
you got to work on my cool factor, Dom.
Yeah. No.
There's some stuff that gets even.
I have rising sun pubes. What? How can I get cooler than that?
Would you like to see my
up to 100?
What's your cool stat at, bro? Got mine at
you haven't watched enough pickup line videos, Dom. You gotta get that cool factor up there.
I guess so. Yeah, my character needs to work on his game.
That's another aspect of the game that I think really did live up to the hype, is the way that the stats and everything else works in the game. Like they advertised it as it was going to be, your dialogue choices are based on your stats as well. And they have like perks and stats, dictate a lot of like general knowledge, whereas perks are specific things that you're either good at or whatever. And I think they did a really good job with the customization there, as well as the way that it works for like technical knowledge will give you the ability to compliment someone on their computer setup. So it's just very unique in the way that
you
works.
choose perks in that technical knowledge, like that help you with crafting, or that help you with what the hell does engineering do for you again? I forgot.
Grenades.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff.
Explosions. You can
you
can remote detonate mines. Things like that. That just various skills. That's quick hacking, actually. The remote detonation, which is another perk category. Like there's 3 for every stat or so.
Yeah.
2 to 3.
And then those level as you do it, as well as you get points that you can invest. But what things are under each perk are unlocked by how much you've done that thing and how much experience you have in, like, blades, for example. I'm almost max level because I walk around with a katana.
Deke's basically a Jedi in Cyberpunk. He just walks around slicing people up.
I either snipe or I use a katana.
Speaking of Jedi, I wish somebody, because I heard somebody say this on a stream, I can't remember who it was that was playing it. I wish somebody would have, I wish I would have gotten the vibe from the game that it was going to be like old school RPGs. Like somebody said it reminded them of Knights of the Old Republic, which, oh my God, was one of my favorite games
say
ever.
That it's the first game in years that gives me that feel.
Yeah, and like, I wish that would have been. I felt like that wasn't really what people led with when they were talking about the game. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I was just too grouchy about the whole thing.
It also depends on when you got onto the train. Like, if you got onto the train at E3 when they announced Keanu Reeves was in it, like, most people that were following Cyberpunk at that point already understood that, and like that wasn't even part of the conversation anymore because it'd been in development for what, 5 or 6 years. It went into development in 2013. Like, it's
Keanu Reeves' character is a total badass, by the way. That's all I'm going to say about him. He's fucking awesome in that game. I wonder how much they paid him for Cyberpunk.
From my understanding,
can we look up how much like Keanu Reeves got paid for his role in Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah,
because his fucking character is phenomenal.
Check it out, but I think they were going to pay him for a cameo, and I saw this on an interview, and he asked them for more involvement. Like, he wanted to be a bigger role in the game.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder if we'll see that more often happen. I mean, it already is happening way more than it used to. But like celebrities and actors and actresses in video games,
Bethesda hired Liam Neeson in fucking Fallout 3.
That's true.
He's your dad. Like, he's kind of an important character. Bethesda always has like one fucking. You had like Captain Picard voicing the Emperor in Oblivion, but that was like a very small role. But they always have one big name person that does the voice acting.
How much you get
Wasn't
paid,
somebody in Skyrim who did Isla the Huntress? Wasn't it like Kate Beckinsale or something like that? I can't remember.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think
something,
you're right.
Like some big name.
She was in Skyrim.
She was.
I think it was Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, so Isla the Huntress, the companions, the chick with the companions with all like the blue face paint, she was voiced by someone really famous. I want to say it was Kate Beckinsale.
I love Kate Beckinsale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Keanu Reeves, the details of what he got or not have never been made public.
Disclosed.
But it does. To Deke's point, all of the headlines are about him originally not having as much screen time as he did, but that he really enjoyed it doing it, and so he doubled the quote is doubled his screen time.
That's cool.
So
yeah, I want to say it was an interview with like IGN or something where they were talking about how they ended up like really expanding Silverhand's character because of the desired involvement.
The way Keanu Reeves is, I wouldn't surprise me if he really didn't make all that much money off of it. Like, he probably did it for the enjoyment.
Probably just did it for fun.
He loved it. Yeah. Like,
it's been a while since I saw that interview, but that was my.
He's such a down to earth dude. Like, he probably just did it because he enjoyed it.
What a swell guy.
All right, so let it be said for perpetuity on the internet that Ginger is an asshole. He's a grouch, and he can admit when he's wrong. And I was mostly wrong about Cyberpunk, I think.
I think what it boils down to.
I fully think that if they would have delayed it or said this was early access, it would have fixed the issues. Like, this is early access. Let's just be real. I'm submitting error reports on a twice daily basis. This is early access.
But it does go back to like what we were saying about how overhyping kills a video game launch, right? The only reason they released it when they did is because it was so hyped and everybody had their eyes on the release date.
Because they were going to get
like,
firebombed if they didn't.
Give me this game. Oh my God, you're pushing it back again. And it's just like, well, you know, you get what you asked for. You wanted it to fucking be released early, and now there's like weird bugs where, you know, on the consoles it's fucking crashing every 4 hours, or like on PC I've noticed a lot of graphical issues where, like, you know, I was having dinner with this guy and he had like chopsticks because he's eating noodles, and like his chopsticks duplicated. And so he had like a random floating pair of chopsticks in front of him while he's eating his food. And I've seen that particular bug a lot of different cases where like cigarettes would just be like duplicate and there would be a random cigarette floating throughout the cutscene. And
so I was in a car and my arms were like up like this, like I was doing the Thriller dance. It was great. They just started going up to the side and they were like in the picture as I'm talking to a guy, like I'm putting my hands in his face.
Yeah, someone told me that they saw someone like sitting down on the road, just like floating, like they were riding in the invisible boatmobile.
Yeah. Or the classic cars 10 feet above the ground that, you know, there's just nothing underneath them.
I haven't had anything too crazy, too game breaking. The only time I ever had to restart the game was when I got stuck in my map screen and I couldn't do anything. Then I had to like force close the game. But other than that, it's just been like the weird, stupid shit, like during cutscenes. Whatnot.
I was playing Flight Simulator on stream the other night, and I was parked on the ground, and there was an airport bus driving up and down the side of the air traffic control tower.
Amazing.
It was truly incredible.
It's a spider bus.
Yeah.
Spider bus. That's amazing.
One thing I gotta say about Cyberpunk though is that it makes, like, I have a really pretty good computer. I've never had any issues running any game. Well, yeah, but that game pushes my system so fucking hard, and I played on medium settings. It's not even like there's like 2 or 3 settings higher than medium. Like there's like high, ultra ray tracing, fucking like all this crazy whatever the hell. But I'm playing it on medium. Work. I don't know if it does or doesn't.
Breaks the game.
The game is
heard that there's a lot of issues running ray tracing.
Like, even on medium, though, the game is one of the most visually striking games I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is just, they do lighting so well. They do the atmosphere of walking in a big city with all the different noises and lights and all the people walking around and fucking people, like, just high off of their asses, rolling around on the ground on the sidewalk. Like, it's you feel like you're in a city. It reminded me of, like, being in New York City when I was walking around that city.
Have you been to the Badlands yet?
The Badlands. Is that just the area outside of the city?
If you don't know what it is, you haven't been there.
Okay, no, because I've been out to the desert where like all the wind turbines and shit are like.
Yeah, that's the Badlands.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you don't. I didn't want to.
That is the Badlands.
If you haven't seen it, it's going out there versus being in the city is just crazy. The sounds are perfect. Like it reminds me of when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Like when you're outside of a club in that game and you just hear the and then the fucking doors open up, it's like all the fucking music just like blasts out of the fucking door, and like the audio change from when you're outside the club to when you step into it is just so perfectly well done.
So everything the game before last year advertised that they were going to do, environment, writing, story, I think they do really well. I think that they did combat well enough. It leaves something to be desired on the melee side. Honestly, I just button mash once I close the distance. So
well, that was at least my take, was that we shouldn't expect stellar gameplay. I mean, unless they've actually cleaned their shit up,
but the gunplay is amazing.
Yeah, which I was about to say. I've seen that, and that looks good. Ryan, were you going to say something earlier?
I was going to say, like, so Cyberpunk, I've like no interest in the game itself, like that setting, the way the sci-fi kind of stuff has never interested me. I really don't have an interest in it. However, all of the different things that you guys are mentioning now, like environments and vision, I've seen it. It looks visually just incredible. I'd love to see it on the Series X, out on the big screen. Like I don't have any interest in like the game. I don't think. Maybe once I play it, it'd be different. But like, I almost want to play it just to see kind of what it looks like and how it feels. But like that sci-fi weird shit.
I really think both of you should wait 6 months.
Yeah. You got it, Coach.
I don't think that you are invested enough in the story to enjoy it, given the glitches. And I think that if you don't have those issues and you go in, you will. It's like, when you go and play a game and you're 2 hours in and you suddenly are 5 hours in and then you're 6 hours in. Like, that's how this game is.
Hopefully they can optimize it a little better, because my CPU is just getting cooked right now.
You might, Ryan. I don't know. I hate to I hate to tell you what you will and will not like, but like I don't think it's as sci-fi as you think it is. Like, because Cyberpunk is like almost a completely different, like, it's like dystopian.
Right. No, I get it. It's not like pure. It's not pure science fiction. But like, I was watching
Star Wars.
I was watching Dom play it yesterday, and like,
so you could avoid all of that and not play with any of the implants.
Yeah,
I don't have implants.
Oh, well, interesting.
I mean, I have like 2 because you're required to, but I don't use them.
Give me that robot arm, dude. I want that shit.
Yeah, like I saw Dom pull like some wires out of his hand and plug himself into a.
Yeah, there's another one where like that was in the original trailer where you literally have blades, and I was like, why would I do that? I have a katana.
Like, see, like that kind of, just like it just gets all weird for me. So to Deke's point, that's probably what I was gonna do. Is just I'll play it later on.
Play
down
it like
the road.
COD. You'll enjoy it. Yeah. Level up power and whatever the reflexes I think it is. And then that'll be your strength. And I mean, basically, you're just going to be an assassin with a gun. Like, go do that.
I really didn't like the cyber fucking like sci-fi shit really didn't sell me either. But once I bought the game, I quickly realized how much I loved the universe that they created. And I wasn't really into the whole like sci-fi thing.
And either. I would say that if you were going to place this into a like genre, sure, it's sci-fi, but I think it's much more of a dystopian. Like, it's only in 2077 and it's based off, a little bit of extra massaging with the technology, obviously with the implants and stuff, but aside from that, it's not hard to see how you could get there if you started in 2000. Like, now that we're in 2020, it's a little different, but like their branch of history seems to go off the rails at 2000 or so. And
which arguably it did.
Okay, so we're still on schedule for this dystopian Cyberpunk.
One game, to change subjects just a little bit here, one game that we have not talked about at all that I want to hear about, that I know Deke and Ryan, I don't think Tango's played it, but I want to hear about Valhalla, because I know Ryan's been playing that off stream. And I know Deke streamed a little bit about it. I want to hear about that game. Like,
I was gonna say when Deke a few minutes ago was talking about how you play when you're playing a game and you're like 2 hours into it, and then all of a sudden you're 10 hours in. That's been my experience in Valhalla so far.
Yeah.
I've put in, I don't even know. I played a little bit last night. I didn't check, but I just get lost in time when I'm playing that game, and like all of a sudden it's midnight and I'm 5 whiskeys deep and I don't know what happened. But it's a great game. It's a great game. I love the setting. I love the characters so far. I really like the characters. I'm nowhere near probably as deep into it as Deke is. But
you might be further. I'll let you finish.
But I've really, really enjoyed it. I think they did a good balance of now, and I never actually played Odyssey, but I watched a lot of Odyssey. Mm-hmm. I think they did a good balance of the fighting mechanics. Did a balance between kind of where Origins was and where Odyssey was. Like I said, I never played it, but I watched a lot. It seemed to me like in Odyssey, there was the fights were a lot more drawn out. Like I felt like you had to hit, your opponent 4 million times before you finally got to the end of a battle. And then in Odyssey, it was pretty quick. Like if you want to go like down a time to kill route, kind of thing. But I feel like in Valhalla, it's a good balance. Like it definitely seems like the fights take a little bit longer than Origins, but not as long as it seemed like they took in Odyssey. So I feel like that's pretty well balanced. It's a beautiful game. The biggest reason I'm playing it off stream is because I just love playing it on my big TV because it is just gorgeous. And I really enjoy they've got this kind of mechanic where you've got this town that you're kind of starting from scratch. And you get to build up different buildings to add like a trader, a shipyard, so you can customize your boats and things like that. I love that mechanic because it kind of helps me personally get more invested into like what I'm doing around in the game, because you have like a purpose of what you're going around and doing. So I so far loving it.
So if you would ask me a week ago, I would have had the exact same realization or judge. I would have felt the same way. But I have a hard time even wanting to play the game right now because it's got an empty open world comparatively. Like it's really good, and it's the best Assassin's Creed game I've played in a long time. I love the combat. There's a skill for assassination where if the person is too strong, you have like a window to press RB after you jump on them, and it's great. It's the perfect, like, how do you work in so you have to be a perfect assassin because this guy's a little stronger, so you really got to get him before he knocks your arm away. Like, and sometimes that window is pretty small depending on the level. I really like that mechanic, and I really like what they did with the game. But it's a lot more, I mean, and even the random events in the game are great. There's like, I can't even think of them right now, but there was like a nun who was cloistered in a tower that you had to like do something for, and then you got her to come outside and see the sun. Like, random event that totally cool, that has never been a unique event like that in an open world game that I've played, where it's so many varying events. But at the same time, then I jump into Cyberpunk and there's 10 times as much. And that's
been a criticism I've heard of Valhalla. The only bad one is that there's almost too much, and it's too big, and there's too much to do, which I think has been kind of in my opinion, that's what turned me off of Odyssey, because like I felt like I sunk 20 hours into it. I just barely scratched the surface. It's like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do another.
I do feel like it's a spiritual successor of Donkey Kong 64. Which is infamously the worst collectathon. I mean, I love Donkey Kong 64, but I like collectathons.
I was expecting at all.
There's a lot of conversation in classic games about Donkey Kong 64 literally would make you go to the same area with 5 different characters. Like, you'd have to redo the same thing 5 times. So it's that collectathon feel. I like collectathons, and if you like them, you will like Valhalla, but I've heard the comparison between Cyberpunk and Valhalla, where there's like an 80-hour story in Valhalla or a 20-hour story in Cyberpunk, but then you have all the side missions.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's typical of Ubisoft, though. Like every Ubisoft game I ever remember playing, of like the open world, whether it's Far Cry, whether it's Assassin's Creed, there's always a lot to do, but it's always a lot of the same thing to do.
Yeah.
And
you can't complete the main mission without doing the 80 hours of things, or 60 hours, 40 hours, whatever it is. Whereas Cyberpunk, what I mean is, I've seen people complete it in 20 to 30 hours. Like,
which is nice, actually. I was kind of thinking about just powering right through the whole main quest and beating it, and then restarting the game with a character. Now that I understand how to build my character for the way that I want, restart it, rebuild my character, and then experience the rest of the game with my new character, you know?
And I've been coming at it from the, like, I know, Dom, you like immersion a lot.
Yes,
that's one of the things that you are really into. And that's part of this game. Playing it on a 65-inch screen in 4K at somewhere around 60 frames is awesome. I stopped driving cars. I was saying in your chat the other day, I stopped driving actual cars and I switched to bikes, because it's impossible to drive cars in first person. I
get actual, like, real life road rage in that game. I'm just like stuck in between like two lanes, right? And there's like fucking cars everywhere. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of my way!
Then I need Ginger to play this game because this would be hilarious.
Yeah. One of my favorite clips of Dom ever is him playing Mafia in New York City and like driving around. And I can't even remember what he says, but he puts the perfect New York accent. Up yours, buddy. I can't even do it. But, like, it's fucking hilarious.
In the same exact breath, like, my way of going about the game is I started out as a corpo that, I knew shit, but all I knew was about business. So I don't really know about all these implants and hacks and, like, what I should be working on as far as my skills. So, like, my first thing was cool, so that way I could fit in everywhere and kind of sneak around. I don't know. I'm treating this like a role-playing game, and that goes back to my love for D&D tabletop. Like, this is my character. We're growing with the game, and as you discover the game, you grow your character in the same way. So that's what I've been really enjoying about it. Additionally, once everything is fixed and Ginger picks it up, I think that you will love what the game has to say about society.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's the most. I would say it's the most. I've heard a game critique something in this way, so without spoiling anything.
It looks like it to me, like, and that's I guess that's why I was kind of frustrated, like, when I was seeing people play it, because I was like, oh my god, like, I would love this game. They just fucking didn't market it to me. Like, and I like the joke of the podcast is like, I know, right? Like, the joke of the podcast is like, when I said, like, if you're not gonna cater to me, then fuck your game. But like, like, but it is kind of like, but it is like, I mean, this is the game that I would like to play. I don't know. I get
Kyle just has the most weird, like, pent up rage for marketing departments that I've ever seen in my life. It's so weird.
Like, I think you were 100% accurate, Ginger, when you said if you had never heard about the game and it was like, oh, this game released, and you like read about it, you would have bought it without a second thought.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
And would have loved it. But
so like,
well, maybe not, because I don't know if your PC could handle it. But
no, probably not. I'm gonna need a year and a PC upgrade, probably.
Yeah, or just go the evil route and get a console.
No, we'll see.
Boo,
maybe.
No.
We'll see. That's a step up.
What was it like actually opening up a freaking PS5 or even an Xbox Series X?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to know what that experience was like.
I should have done an unboxing on stream is what I should have done.
You should have done. Yeah, you should have, for real.
I was just too excited. I mean,
I would say that it wasn't so much the unboxing as playing Spider-Man, even the one that was on PS4. Number one, that game in and of itself, I can't wait to play Miles Morales. Dude. And I have probably one stream left before I beat this game.
Sorry, illuminate the grouch in the what game?
Spider-Man. Discord just took huge shit for a couple seconds there.
Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's a Spider-Man game.
It's the PS5 Spider-Man. So Spider-Man 1 is PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm playing that in 4K though, because PS5 can run it in 4K, and the game is beautiful. I obviously, when I'm streaming, I'm doing 1080 60, but I did the side missions on my TV, and it's just turning that game on for the first time. I knew that I was going to want to stream that.
I went over to my friend Meech's house a couple weeks ago, and he got a PS5, and he just got this brand new 65-inch 8K Samsung, and he put Miles Morales up on it, and I was like, woof.
About creamed in your pants.
It is incredible.
I saw it being streamed on Twitch in 1440 by one of the bigger streamers, and in 1440 it looks incredible. It's
insane. It's incredible. That's the thing. So like, I'm in this weird phase right now, because I've got this console out in just outside my door here, plugged into a brand new
and it has no games.
QLED, TV that I love a lot. And I have this console sitting there that's more powerful than the PC sitting right here.
Yeah.
And so I'm like in this weird funk because I am a PC gamer through and through. I love my PC, but those dick lickers over at NVIDIA and EVGA who can't get me a fucking video card so they can suck my ass, and I gotta go play the game on my console. So like I've been enjoying playing games on my console, and there's this kind of like I've been really enjoying just kicking back in my recliner with a drink, just relaxing and playing games on the big screen. It's been really enjoyable. But it's like this weird phase I'm in where I've got a more powerful piece of hardware out there on the console than I do sitting right here. So like, it's like, I'm thinking about all these games and I'm like, well, shit. Like, I mean, technically it'd be better out there because I could play it in 4K and the console could run it at, 60 or, 120.
You just need to get the setup like this, Ryan, and 3 monitors and a 65-inch.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
get working on that, dude.
Yeah.
Segue here. You talking about being in your recliner, relax with a drink, playing games. I think what you should do, based on what we saw, that's a very successful Twitch strategy, Ryan, is just set up your camera over your lazy boy and have a blanket and a drink and a bag of Funyuns and just sit there and just chatting.
Was this part of your just chatting rabbit hole that you guys went through yesterday?
So Ryan and I have taken. We got to figure out a name for what this is. Like I think I kind of like Twitch dredging. Like I actually had to look up. I've used dredging and I know what it kind of means, but like, you guys know what dredging actually is?
Don't they like comb the bottom of rivers or something? Is that
yeah. They're literally like combing the bottom of a body of water for like shit, dead people and dead animals and things like that. I think,
isn't it also when you clear it so that way you can have a deep enough place for ships to
I think
you might be right.
You're saying this, and I'm like, we dredge Lake St. Clair every year for the freighters.
Right.
Like,
so basically, but you're cleaning off all the shit from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
It's
removing
stuff
from
some sort of purpose, whether it be to get rid of the shit or to make it deep enough.
So Ryan and I have taken to every once in a while. We'll just stay up really late, and you can just hit the just chatting button on Twitch, and then just scroll all the way to the bottom. Like you want to get out of, like, there's some gold in like the 50 viewer range, but what you really want to do is you want to get to that like 5 to 1 to 0 viewer range. And there are some things. It's almost indescribable. You talk about like immersion and world building and things like if you want
you talk about immersion.
like we watched this dude last night who, God love him, looks like he's had some decent success, like streaming Rocket League and everything. And it was his birthday stream. And he started the stream talking about like how he was going to do a 24-hour stream. He's set up in his dining room and he's got like shot glasses. He's ready to party for birthday and a bottle of Goldschlager. And he took just gulps. I mean, like Ryan said, he counted 4 gulps off this handle.
And this is all after he's got these shot glasses lined up in front of him. And these are not shot glasses per se. No. These are, I would like call these like 6-ounce glasses, and he has filled them with some sort of clear. I don't know if it was vodka or tequila or something. It wasn't the Goldschlager because the Goldschlager was full when he started. So he legit, I think he had 5 of them, and he took these shots. And this is how I know they were not normal shots, because he had to take multiple gulps to get the shots down. So he took like 6 of those, and then he starts taking legitimate fucking pulls off of this Goldschlager bottle. And like Kyle said, I legit on the first couple pulls saw him gulp down like 4 times. So this was not just like a pull. This was a pull.
I lived in a fraternity for 4 years. I could this was this man heavy drinking.
This was man on that level.
This was not a frat boy.
I was gonna say that sounds like my buddies who power houred a half gallon and did a shot every 5 minutes.
But this was not a frat boy. This was a man in the depths of Virginia with no front teeth.
Yeah.
And so me and Kyle are sitting there watching him, And you want to talk about right place, right time. This man was going to do a 24-hour stream. He lasted 40 minutes. So we're sitting there. I caught him on. I got in there at minute 9, right after he'd taken all these big shots, and right when he pulled out the Goldschlager bottle.
Is he still alive?
Yes. I actually I found him this morning. He went back live again.
Should we be talking about this? Because
we actually watched. We're sitting there afterwards, and we were like, dude, we may have just watched a man die. And then Kyle's said something like, "I don't think this was his name's Nader for one." Nader. And he's like, I don't think this is Nader's first rodeo.
So the clear liquid was moonshine. Man? Let's just start off with that. The clear liquid was moonshine.
Unknown.
I think it may have been, but then also another important point was he's also chugging 16-ounce energy drinks. Raise energy.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Raise energy.
Raise for real?
Yeah, it's right. He is chugging 16-ounce Raise.
You guys get into the Four Loko back in the day?
Oh, no. Four Locos literally killed people.
2011.
Those things literally killed people.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm alive, dude. I don't know how I'm alive because that's what we drank in high school, bro.
Woof.
Yeah. At one point,
touched it, but I had friends that did.
Nader just he went to go get another Raise energy, and he dropped it and went down below the table to get it, and he never came back.
You could hear him. You could hear him
just mumbling down there. He's like, "You guys broke me. You broke me."
I want to have this fucking guy in the podcast, dude.
I know.
Oh, dude. No.
But if you're ever bored, if you're ever late, late at night and stoned and a little drunk or whatever, I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful stuff. I mean,
just going through the just chatting rabbit hole.
I mean,
as a Twitch streamer though, you're looking at this shit and you're like, God damn it, these people have more followers. They've got more views than me. Like, what am I doing wrong? I mean, literally, there was some dude that we also popped in his stream, and he's literally just watching TV in his recliner with a blanket and a bag of Funyuns and a vape. And we popped in, Ryan popped in, and he was like, so what's going on here? And the guy goes, oh, we're just hanging out and chilling, having a good conversation.
I think my favorite, it's not a just chatting stream, but it probably should be on Twitch, is not Exfil Camper, but a guy that I found through Exfil Camper from Tarkov, and he literally just sits in a corner in labs and chats and vapes, and he just camps the whole time. And then, like, with 5 minutes left after he's killed somebody, exactly. Yeah. He jumps on like a coat rack in a room that you can only get on if you have a max strength, and then he just sits there and waits.
It's beautiful. The internet is an awesome place.
It's
and then and you can pay $22.22 to put him in a Santa suit.
What? Oh, Kyle, what about
all year round? That's his tip revenue, is he has a Santa suit that you can pay to put him in it, and then someone has to pay to get him out of it.
God.
Who would pay to get him out of it?
God.
Get him out of it. I don't know why. Leave him in it.
Usually within 5 minutes, if it was on, within 5 minutes of it getting taken off, someone else puts it back on.
Yeah, right.
Well, Ginger needs to tell you about the comedic genius we found last night.
I don't even know how to describe that dude. I was thinking about that, but like he was sitting there, there shirtless, with a Santa hat on. You can pay a certain amount to get he had like I don't know, 60 stockings behind him with I don't know if they were subscriber names or what, but you could pay to get your name on a stocking behind him. And I don't know, like he was clearly within the first 5 minutes, you could tell that he couldn't be serious, but just deadpanning, just talking. I don't remember what he was talking about. But then I went back through and looked at his YouTube channel, and he literally had a stream where he just covered himself in peanut butter and jelly and like made himself into a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And you just can't make this stuff up.
You just broke down. He's gone.
Yeah.
We're not getting him back.
I'll send it to you because it's something, man.
What's a piece of bread on his head? He's like, I'm a sandwich.
He's got a beard and he's like working it through his mustache, like the peanut butter. And he's like, I can't touch anything. Like I'm gonna get peanut butter all over everything. I can't. Somebody's got to help me.
And then he's like, I can't get jelly on the floor. My girlfriend's gonna be pissed. And then like a second later, he's like, there's jelly on the floor.
Beautiful.
Oh my god! I really got to take this trip someday. Then. Holy shit!
I'm telling you.
He had some sort of technology built into his stream where like you could like click on his screen and like it knew where your mouse pointer was, and so you could pay channel points to do what he called a pinpoint zoom, and so someone paid and did that and zoomed in right on his nipple, and for everyone it just zooms in the camera for like 5 seconds. Wherever you click, it zooms in. Someone fucking we're just sitting there watching, and all of a sudden his camera is like zoomed in on his nipple.
Bro, oh my god.
So highly recommend Twitch dredging if you like.
It's like fucking chat roulette. You just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, far too many communities I'm in.
Yeah,
already.
It's amazing. So,
bro.
All right. Well, let's. We're probably getting up to time here, right, Dom?
An hour and 4.
All right. Well, anything else we want to drop on any rabbit holes we want to go down that are unexplored?
Yeah, I have.
Before Sub-Zero comes out, Dom, you need to play Subnautica. So
yeah.
You do need to play Subnautica. You will love it. It's without a doubt your alley.
People keep telling me that. Right now, there's Cyberpunk, there's DayZ, and Tarkov, and I want to play all 3 of them.
There's too many games.
I know there's too many damn games.
So
I do want to play Subnautica though,
but DayZ's not going to change much. No,
I don't want it to change.
Subnautica is about to have their sequel come out.
When is the release for Below Zero?
It's coming up. I'm gonna Google that really quick. Yeah,
I would like to. I'm gonna play. I'll definitely stream Below Zero because I loved Subnautica. Actually, that was like I think that was maybe the first game. Maybe the second would be Red Dead.
So 2 months.
I'm gonna finish Red Dead. I've got off all next week.
Oh no, that's the wrong date. That's my bad.
Hell yeah.
Google doesn't like me.
Yeah, I've got off all next week, so we're gonna power through Red Dead before. I'm gonna try to do it before Christmas.
Hell yeah!
Speaking of Subnautica in the ocean, you guys want to talk about some deep shit real quick? Real
oh yeah, you were gonna take us to deep places. You said.
Yeah. So the whole thing about cyberpunk and cybernetic modifications to the human body and stuff like that got me thinking about this one game I played a long time ago called Soma. Oh yeah. And I don't know if I should give a spoiler for the end of the game, but the premise was, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. If you don't want to hear a spoiler, if you're not gonna play Soma, then whatever. But so the end of the game, the game starts where you're able to take your brain and all of your memories and basically Control X, Control V it into a fucking different entity, right? So you could literally copy your brain and put it into a robot. And you're playing the whole game, right? And you're meeting all these different robots and shit that are, I guess, used to be people, right? And by the end of the game, you look in a mirror and you realize that you are 100% robot, and the whole game you thought you were a person. So really fucking throws you for a loop, right? And the thing about that is what do you guys think defines your humanity? If you just woke up tomorrow, or if every day over the next 365 days you became a little less flesh and bone and a little more metal and wires, right? At what point do you stop being human?
When I can't get drunk anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
That was the most easy company podcast.
If that's not the intro, I don't know what is.
Oh, God.
No, but seriously though, if you were still totally the same consciousness, but you woke up and you were no longer flesh and bone, you were just a robot, would you consider yourself to just not be human anymore? What is it that defines your humanity? Is it a physical trait, or is it just an identification thing?
That's $1 million question, isn't it? Like that's what we still don't have an answer to as far as like consciousness goes. Like if you can make that into, if you can mechanize that, you know, like if you can make something intelligent enough that it experiences consciousness. It's a fucking fascinating question.
And emotions.
I don't know.
I actually in the game, there's a mission where you deal with consciousness and you need a certain ability to do something, or you can choose 2 other bad options. And I walked away and said, I'll come back to this because I'm going to go level up that ability so I don't have to do the bad options. And, you know, because it's like, do you want to destroy the AI or do you want to separate it into independent beings, which I can't do? And it's like, it's just cool.
There's a show on Netflix that I thought dealt pretty interestingly with that question. Something
talk about like
Shell.
Black Mirror or something.
I don't know. Well, Black Mirror plays with it too, but this show was completely revolving. I can't remember the name of the show. I'll look it up in a second. But like literally, your consciousness is downloaded. You're downloaded kind of on a chip, right? And it goes into the back of your shell, your biological shell. But people can like you can survive as long as, you know, anything can happen to your body as long as you've got your little chip, right? And you can just plug it into a different body. And so, of course, they take. No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
It's not an anime, is it?
No, it's not an anime.
It sounds like Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, it probably is very similar, but anyway. But anyway, they take it super dystopian too, where, you know, of course the people of great means are basically functionally immortal because they can just continue to recycle, and they've got themselves backed up millions of different times. And then, you know, the poor people are kind of, you know, just trying to survive and not, you know, be able to afford a shell. It's pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. That's the question of whether or not, like, is consciousness emergent or is it innate, you know, in some biological process? I don't know.
Yeah. Because I don't think you would just cease to be human if you became a robot. If you still had the same emotions, if you had the same consciousness, if you felt the same way, you loved the same people, like.
So then the question becomes, when does a robot become human?
Yeah.
You boys ever seen iRobot?
Yeah.
On Subnautica, the Google date that I had was from its original release because it's technically released, but the story wasn't fully voiced. That is still in the works. They said it's supposed to come out any day now, so no official date for that yet. But
any day now.
It'll be interesting to come to the world from a different perspective. Ginger knows what I mean. I don't want to spoil the game, so
yeah.
I'll let you experience one.
You definitely got to play the first one first, I think. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Agreed on that.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it. Deke, thank you so much for coming on. That was a fucking blast. And from me on the internet for perpetuity, thank you so much for being a great part of all of our communities, mine especially. Mine especially. We had a conversation about like, huh? I told you guys. I claimed him. I've brought him.
You disowned him. No.
He's come back. He's the prodigal son.
This is ridiculous.
You know, we've had conversations about who to bring on the podcast and yada yada, and we kind of came to the conclusion that bring people on that give to the community, and I think you're definitely in that camp.
It was a unanimous decision, man. We appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate everything you do in all of our communities.
Absolutely. Deke, give us your social media handles, please.
DekeOfHazzard. Search it on Twitch.
Single brand. Wow, nice, good job.
Yep. Yeah. I had it on Facebook before I deleted my Facebook. I had it there too. Just, you know, pretty much any social, it's DekeOfHazzard.
Nice. And you stream every
weekend mornings, bright and early.
Yeah.
For anyone not in Eastern time, it's probably before you wake up, and for anyone in Eastern time, it's probably before you wake up. So.
Excellent.
I'm still like nursing a hangover while
on Saturdays and Sundays is when I stream.
Word. Ryan?
I am AngryPrivateRyan, all spelled out on Twitch, and AngryPrivate abbreviated PVT Ryan on Twitter.
Cool. Tango.
12 Tango Dom on Twitch and Twitter. Stream every weekend and occasionally a bonus stream on the weekday, dude. Or yeah, depending on what's going on at work that day.
Very good. I am twitch.tv/GingerBeerdGaming, beard spelled like the beer that you drink. And then same, I think I'm GingerBeerd92 on Twitter and all those socials. And yeah, so this has been episode 8 of the Easy Company podcast. We do appreciate everybody liking, subscribing, yada, yada. You can find us audio only versions on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Please give us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see on the show. We appreciate everybody, all the support. Love all of you. Stay safe out there. Be excellent to one another. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.